Morning, everybody. We have Curtis with us again today. Romy's off. She's got something important she had to do today, so I get to take over. So we have Curtis with us again this morning. And Curtis, if you remember the last webinar Curtis did, he told us all about the presentation and the steps we need to take during a presentation. Today, he's in Turkey, actually, so there might be a little syncing problem. I don't know, just bear with that. But he's coming to us live from Turkey. So he's going to go into a little bit of stuff today about how to be a good team member at the presentation. So if maybe it's not your presentation, but maybe you've got a part in it or whatever, or maybe you're just there and brought some people to it. He's going to tell us how to be a good team member at the presentation. So take it away, Curtis.
How you doing? Are you turning it over to me? I got it. It's all me. All right. Well, listen, gang, it's a pleasure to come to you. I'm actually in Antalya, Turkey. Yes, it's safe. It's absolutely gorgeous, too. We are at a resort called the Mardin Palace, M-A-R-D-A-N, and the Mardin Palace. It is the home of the largest spa in all of Europe, and it's wonderful. In fact, Lisa and I we snuck down today, and we each went different ends. And I went to the guy's side, the girl's side. We got these hour and a half, 2 hour massages that were unfreaking believable. So they definitely not only built a big one, but they staffed it with really great folks. In fact, to show you how fun it is, it's one of the reasons we love what we all do. Mark, this is on a whim, so I show that I've got a great wireless thing. If because I do this, I lose you, don't worry, I'll dial right back in. But guys, here's the pool. I don't know if you can see this. Let's see, there's the main building, and here is the pool. It starts there, and it goes all the way down there, and way past that blue thing that you see is the beach. So it's got one of the largest pools in all of Europe. So it's wonderful fun. So as it's morning for you guys, it's evening for me. So it's about 7 o'clock in the evening here. So with that kind of out of the way, let's talk about as Mark said, we talked about meetings. Let's talk about how to be a great team member in support of meetings, and it doesn't have to be just physical local meetings. Anytime that you are in a meeting environment, if you will, with prospects, it could be a webinar where you're being asked to attend and be a part of sharing your stories. It could be a local meeting. It could be a conference call where you've been asked to come on and participate. When we went through the meeting conversation last week, again, the reason that local meetings are one of the most powerful things, even if you're primarily an online builder, that you can start within your group, is so that those, the reality is most everybody, at least if you're exposing your product, you'll expose it to those who are also physically close to you. For many people, they still live or they've built the friendships with the neighbors and in the neighborhood. And if you've got great products like doTERRA, then obviously one of the things you want to do is you want to share those products with those nearby, as well as for many who build online, or if they build through Facebook groups, or they just prospect and get leads online. You still may be reaching across the country, but when you introduce people to the team, those people are going to spend a lot of time building local activity. It's just a natural part of human behavior. And as we said when we talked about the meeting psychology, a local meeting it serves a variety of purposes beyond just a place for people to meet each week to share with prospects. It's a place where people who are like-minded, fellow team members, come together. They build that community, they build that camaraderie, and they learn and grow from each other. It's like the one day a week, let me get better in person physically with people who love me, care about me, I love them, care about them, because we're all part of this wonderful team that is doing great things, trying to make a difference in our lives and the lives of those we love, and let's get together and help each other be better. And you saw that psychology of introducing new people, experienced people, and bringing it all together. One of the things I wanted to touch on, and we talked about it a little bit, but now I really want to be specific. And I want to talk about the things that are most important are those story things. And so what I want to do is we drew out, the meeting thing last time, I want to spend a little more time talking about the construction of the story. We talked about it, I think, last time when we talked at the meeting, but I really want to talk about this for a minute. And I'll tell you why. Remember, when we talked about the meeting, there's an information line and there's an emotion line. Stories take where someone, in this X and Y, where someone joins is up here. At the end of the meeting, they've got all this information, but the emotion's high. Stories take up the emotion, not information. Information just justifies their decision. And so, but there is a right way to be a great team member and a wrong way to be a great team member. Remember that if you are selected to give a product testimonial, the product is the glory, not you. When you are selected to give your personal story, the construction of the story and the psychology of the story is the hero, not you. That is the star of the conversation, not you. And even as passionate and as emotionally connected and as powerfully connected as we all are to our opportunities, because we know how much they've affected us emotionally, even financially, but from a personal growth and development standpoint, just being with like-minded people is a growing experience no matter what. We're all better off, regardless of our success or lack of it so far, if we're just getting started or wherever we are in that path, we're all better off for having done this. The friendships, the relationships, and the people who can make an impact in our life already from the day you enroll, if you really look and see the impact it can make on you all the way through your career, it's extraordinary. But we want to maximize that impact whenever we have an opportunity to present ourselves and our stories to guests, to prospects, and to others. And the way to do that is this. When I mentioned when we talked about the psychology of a meeting, a product testimonial should be no more than 30 seconds. If you're pushing it to 40 or 45, it better be that you had this mind-boggling, earth-shattering, never before seen by humankind on Earth experience. And the reason is, and here's why. It is the product that is the hero and the result that was the hero, not you. And so what you want to do is this. You want all of your stories to be very natural. There's only one way they're going to be natural. The 400th time you said it, it comes off naturally. The first time you say it, it stumbles and bumbles awkwardly. And so here's what you want to do. You want to say to yourself, let's say that I was the person at the front of the room. Let's say that I am the person with a guest there. And you're the person with that new guest or those two new guests, and you are looking to your team members to play their parts so well and be such an in-synchronized key component of the process that they make you proud to have brought those guests. Then do this. As you experience the products and as you develop your story, as you begin to see the results of the exceptional products that you guys are very fortunate and blessed to represent, the reason the company is so successful, the reason it's been around so long is the products are great and they do what they're supposed to do. As you develop your stories, as you develop stories of those who are really close to you, a grandparent or a parent or a sibling who had an extraordinary result, an aunt, uncle, what you should do is jot down and practice those stories. And I mean practice them in front of a mirror, practice them, write it out, and you want to do so in such a way that, and if you have 12 product stories, that's not your role. Your role is to pick one and give it at the meeting. And you can rotate them. If you've got 12 product stories, every time they call on you, pick a different one. Come out with 2 or 3 that are great stories. But when someone says, well, let me have, turn to Romy. Romy, why don't you just share a little bit about your product stories? If you can get 2 product stories in 45 seconds, that's great. The only way you can do that is to be well practiced. But it needs to come off as if it's very comfortable and relaxed. There's only one way that happens. And that is practice, practice. And the reason you want to do it is the purpose of the product testimonial portion of the meeting is that in 2 to 2.5 minutes to 3 minutes, 5 to 6 testimonials can be given. It is the quantity It is the quality of each one, but it's not the quantity of information you give during your testimonial. The only thing people will not remember your story. They'll remember more of the story than the facts, but they would not be able to sit there and take and retell the entire exact word-for-word story that all of the product testimonial people have given. What they'll remember is that that person's grandfather was suffering from arthritis and now they aren't, or this person's, this person was suffering from, allergies and now they aren't, or this person was having sleep difficulty and now they aren't. They won't remember all of it. They'll remember those things. The power for you as a great team member is if you can say, when they say, Romy, if you share a little bit, well, hi, my name's Romy Clark, and it's a pleasure to be here. 4 months ago when I was introduced to these products, I just had difficulty sleeping at night. My mind was always racing. It was very difficult for me to be able to sleep comfortably through the night. And ever since I started taking product X, within 3 days I was sleeping better. Within 2 weeks, I've literally not had anything but a calm night's sleep since. I'm so glad that I was introduced to these products. Boom, sit down. That's 30 seconds. Boom. Fred, why don't you share a little bit? Hi, my name's Fred. Listen, I used to have huge pain in my hands. I've been an over-the-road trucker, but just gripping the wheel hurt. About 8 months ago, I was introduced to the product. Within a week, all of a sudden, I had more flexibility. Within 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I had very little pain left, and for the last 6 months, I've had no pain, and I'm enjoying what I do again, and these products have literally changed my life. Boom, sit down. The only way you can do those testimonials, you don't want to do them necessarily at light speed, but the reason you want them to have pace and be exciting and be quick is that my name, what I do, but here was my condition, here's what happened, and here's how fast it happened, or here was the time frame. Those are the things that connect to people. A product story should take no longer than 30 seconds. If you have 2 dramatic, life-changing stories, if you go to 45, that's fine. Why? If I've got 6 stories and it takes me 5 minutes to go through them or 4.5 minutes to go through them because they were so compelling, the time will fly so fast, but your ideal product story is about 30 seconds. So keep that in mind. And if you can line up a lot of those real quick, it's what we used to call machine gun testimonials, but it's just pop, 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 pop. You suddenly get an attraction by all of the group, because for many people, they may have a condition for that, but in those people they love, they may have someone that needs every one of the results or many of the results they hear, and that's what begins to expand their mind. So in a product testimonial, what was the condition, what was the result, really quick. Everything else is not important. Don't go into the science, the research, and just boom, product detail and be done. When it comes to the business testimonials at the end of the meeting, and we talked about this, there is a structure. Now I'm going to draw it out again right here, and I'm going to take you through it. Now, what I need you to do is I need you to go ahead and very carefully jot this down, because these are truly the powerhouse. This is where a story should take no more than 60, 90 seconds. It better be an amazing thing, but 60 seconds about all it is. And there are 4 components initially, and there are 4 follow-ups that make a personal story. First is your name. Second is where you're from. Third is what you currently do or what you did when you first encountered doTERRA. What is your frustration? It could be what you love. Again, I'm a school teacher and I have a passion and will always do that. My frustration has always been that we just don't make enough money. But since seeing doTERRA, here's where it begins. But since seeing doTERRA, then there need to be 4 things that have happened to you. The most important of which you leave. So since seeing doTERRA, here is what I finally realized. If you're brand new and you've not actually realized significant result, I realized that I finally saw a crystal clear path that and process and plan that I was going to be able to, create greater time freedom, be able to create a better savings for my kids' college education, have a better lifestyle, and most importantly, I was going to be able to help my parents retire in style. Most important, whatever it is. Since seeing doTERRA over the last 2 years, here's what's happened to me. I have, in fact, been able to take control of my life. I retired myself from corporate America 6 months ago. I in fact do have a college fund that I know is going to take care of my children's education properly. I have been able to do this, and you know, I do have a lifestyle where we can travel the world, see our friends, and boom. Here's the purpose of this story. We talked about it, but here's the real key. Again, they are no more than 60 seconds. The purpose of a story is not to talk about every emotional impact, every life-changing thing, is to say, here's who I am, because when you give your name, there's a natural connection when I know that your name is Bob Smith. It's different than, or even if you say, hi, my name's Bob, but there's something powerful about saying, here's my whole name and here's where I'm from. In other words, I am a human being who is a part of your community, and I'm right here with you. There's something very psychologically powerful about that. If you're using this format on a conference call, it's great to have people from all over the country. That's one of the reasons that then you would, if you're in a meeting, you've got people who are local. If you're in a conference call or if you're in a webinar, you intentionally select for the testimonials people from all over the country. So they hear all the product testimonials, but no matter where you live, we get great results. They hear all of the business experiences, but no matter where you live, we get a great result. What I do or what I did allows them to realize that, you know something, this person is like me, or I know a lot of people just like them, and I can relate to this because I'm experiencing this, if it's something similar to what I do, or I know people who are in this current situation, and what is the frustration? Because all of us, typically, what drew us to network marketing is there was something in life that we wanted that we did not yet have, and whether it was just a little bit of extra cushion, you know, a little bit of part-time income, which can make a dramatic difference, or I don't need to make more money than I'm making. I just don't like what I'm doing. I'd love to make the same $75,000 a year, or $60,000 a year, or $40,000. I just want to have fun, or I want to change a career. Those are the kinds of frustrations that people relate to. This makes you someone they connect with, and this connection needs to be quick. Why? Because this is the most important thing. This is the dream. This is the imagination. This is the inspiration. This is the true connection. We connect with them as people. Here we connect them to the concept of why this plan changed their life. Hi, my name's Curtis Broome from Dallas, Texas. You know, in the past I was a real estate broker, and I was able to make a lot of money, but the problem was I never had security, because wherever the market went, I went, and though I may have made a money on a transaction or through my agent's transactions, if they didn't make another one, it didn't happen. Since I've seen doTERRA and become a part of this wonderful team, what I've realized is I was able to not interfere with what I was doing, which took a significant amount of time, but on a very part-time basis. Within 6 months, I had suddenly started to build a foundation, and within a year and a half, I retired myself, and now I've been able to go boom, boom, boom. Here's the impact it's made, 1, 2, 3, but most importantly, I realized that I've now got long-term residual income security that I've always wanted. It's not about being wealthy. It's not about that I bought the Rolls Royce or the big house. You know, I've got more time freedom with my family. I'm able to attend my child's events and be the parent I always wanted to be that I couldn't be. I'm able to, in fact, have a lifestyle where we travel and just see the wonderful, magical things in the world that are there for us to see, but most importantly, I've got security with residual income. Never did I say I've got the Rolls Royce out front and a 40,000 square foot mansion. This is the construction of the story. So again, your name, where you're from, what you do or what you did, what was your frustration. Since seeing it, and if someone's brand new, since seeing it, I just now, for the first time in my life, believe and realize and understand that I'm going to be able to do 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can have new people, you can have experienced people, you can have middle run people. Everybody can follow this pattern. Here's what doing this in 60 seconds does. 90 seconds is pushing it a little bit long. Not so you rush, but if you can go through this at a quick, excited, but powerful pace, because you've practiced and practiced and practiced. So without any thought, the first part, this is you know this. My name's Curtis Broome from Dallas, Texas. You know, I used to be a real estate broker. I did that for over 28 years. And I made great money, but my greatest frustration was I never had a residual income. If things didn't keep going, my income stopped immediately. Boom, I'm 12 seconds, 10, 12, 15 seconds into my 60 seconds, and they get it. That's part anybody can do. We can all do that. You need to practice it a couple of times, so just, because you're just going to throw that out. Here's my name and where I'm from. That's 3 seconds, and here's what I do or did, and here was my frustration. At most, maybe 12 seconds, and I've got this first part knocked out. Since seeing doTERRA, however, or since becoming a part of doTERRA, since whatever, then here's what it is. In 45 seconds, 60 seconds total, I can very comfortably go through these things, and these are the things that they connect with. So here they see, wow, a human being that I can relate to. They're not the presenter. These are people who came out of the audience where they are. These are the people who are sitting around them. That's why product testimonials happen in the audience and just stand up where they are. If it's a local meeting, obviously they just come on the webinar. It's via webinar. In a local meeting, that's what begins to create, wow, people out here next to me are just like me, and they're having these product results. When people come out of the audience to step up, it's magical because they were sitting in the room. It shouldn't be that all your testimonials are just standing at the back of the room like they're the special superstars. Be in the group and be in the audience and be seated with the guests. Now, if you've got this problem, and that is you're getting so successful and you're compounding your size, and all of a sudden there's no seats, congratulations, you got a great meeting. Get your butt out of the seat and make room for the guests. That's the only exception. But if you've got an appropriate number of chairs for the people there, don't be the group that's too cool for school and you're sitting in the back of the room. Get out of the back of the room and get into the audience, and don't sit in the back row. Get in places. Be a great teammate. Embed yourself there. If you don't have guests, if you have guests, you're with them. If not, then you're there in the group for the support of people who do. Why? Because when you bring a guest and other people are there being the stories, you hope that's what they do. Be the kind of team member you would love to have when you're sitting with your guest. And so this is a quick connection. You came out of the audience, you're one of them, and then this is what inspires them. This is what takes their emotion up. That's the psychology of story. We all know great stories. Why? Because they go like this and they're over and done. And this, in fact, this could be a great story in 45 seconds, 50 seconds. It doesn't have to be the full minute. It is. You don't want to go so fast they don't know what you said, and I know I can talk really fast, so maybe not like me. But even if they can't understand me, the one thing they know when I'm done is I'm as excited as all get out. So you're doing it with enthusiasm, not hype. You don't go. That's not it. You're direct. You're enthusiastic, but you're excited. But you have been emotionally moved, and you let them have the opportunity to do the same. Those are we just touched on this stuff when we talked last about a local meeting. Becoming a master of delivering this, and then being able to coach a new person from the very beginning. Brand new people, after only 2 or 3 weeks, they've had great product result. They can be coached how to give that quick product testimonial. If they've followed the hot market system and they picked up a large package of product and they moved it all, or they just started with their own personal pack, but they made the hot market calls, and all of a sudden they had 37, close relationship people trying one of the products in the first 3 days, they're prepared to tell this business story. Oh my gosh, here's my name, where I'm from, here's what I do currently, my greatest frustration. But I've, since seeing doTERRA only 3 weeks ago, what happened to me is, following a very simple system, I was literally able to move over, $1,200 of product in two days, and I suddenly realized that I could see that this is absolutely where I'm going to be able to go bing, 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 bing. And so even a brand new person can do this. It is up to us as leadership. And if you're on the call, remember the #1 key of leadership is show up. So if you're here, you're a leader. It's to understand not only the psychology of a meeting, but everything is a meeting, whether it's a conference call, whether it's a webinar, whether it's a hangout, or whether it's that local meeting where you're building that local camaraderie and creating a great place for building a local powerhouse foundation for guests. The stories are the reason we're there. Not the company history, not the industry history, not the product information, not the comp plan information. Those things are necessary to create the information line requirement for them to get to the point of decision if their emotion's high. We came together so they could hear the stories. Stories sell. Facts tell. Facts tell them it's okay to make that decision that those stories excited them about wanting to make. Mastering this, and then mastering coaching this, so that brand new people become masters of product and their own experience testimonials as fast as possible. Because the way you become great at this, I guarantee you, once you've done this 100 times, you'll be really good. But if you'll practice this 10, 12, 15 times at the next local meeting, you can be really good the first time you do it, and then everybody will want you to do it each time, and 100 meetings from now, you'll be the master teaching everybody else. So there you go. We want to spend a little more time on the actual psychology of the telling of the stories, because that's what makes it all work. That's what, you know, when I used to do conference call overview presentations, sometimes people would do the whole overview presentation, and we eventually realized once there was technology where we could record a PowerPoint presentation, we'd record one and say, here, go watch that. Our live presentation calls would be about, you know, a minute and a half on the company, and then wonderful products would be about 2 to 3 minutes at most, because we'd point and say, but all of the detailed information about the science and research is on the site. Let us just take this opportunity to let you hear from people who have great product stories, people like you who are, and you see that you can hear the results they're experiencing. So once we had this model down, and we had all these people well trained in how to give a product testimonial, our conference calls, you know, even our webinars, we would pare down the full presentation and we expanded the storytelling, because there was always someplace else where they could see the pre-recorded full A to Z 15 or 20-minute presentation. So if you want all that detail stuff, that's there. It was, let me give you 3 minutes about the product, and let me give you 6 minutes of product testimonials. And then let me give you, by the way, our compensation plan, we pay, you know, 6 different ways, 12 different ways. But you know something? All the details of our compensation model are on the website. Bottom line, we have different ways to be rewarded that help new people start quickly. They help people who have been here and really are serious about it move towards a full-time income, you know, much more rapidly than they probably would have expected, and help those who have long-term great success be really rewarded for teaching and coaching others. And the person who invited you to this call can point you directly at the compensation model, and so you can get all those details. But let you hear from some folks who have been experiencing the reward system that we use at doTERRA and share their stories. So boom, I talk about a comp plan for 2 minutes because they can go read the details somewhere, or they can go listen to the recorded comp plan information overview, but then I move right into the stories. Why? Because you have a whole team that really understands how to package their story, the psychology of stories, and they just go boom, 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 boom. And all of a sudden, the 20-minute business presentation or 25-minute business presentation call, so that it's fast and quick and efficient and isn't boring and dead. 2 minutes on the company, 3 minutes on the product, and 7 minutes, 5, 6 minutes of product testimonials. Then 3 minutes on a comp plan and 5, 6 minutes of business testimonials. Boom, we're over and done, in and out and gone in 20 minutes. And the people who listened in go, yeah, where's that more detailed information? I'll take a look at that. Because listen to all those stories that I heard. So there you go. That's what I wanted to do, Mark. I just want to take a moment and really spend some time on the, about my computer, on the story process, both for product and for when you're talking about your doTERRA business experience story. Because those, you get a whole group of people, whether it's on a conference call, a hangout, a webinar, or in a local meeting, who understand how to be a great team member by being a great personal story giver. That's when you create some great results as a team and some real exciting growth on a team. Are you there? There you go.
I'm there. Well, that was great, Curtis. Once again, really, really good information. I don't know. I can't see if there's any questions or not. Is that, it's not showing up on my thing? There's no chat or questions at all. Can you see any, or?
Let me
Does anybody
see.
have any questions for Curtis?
The challenge is, unfortunately, what I think happened is I think I forgot to hit the Q&A button before we started. The thing about Hangouts on Air, you have to hit the button before you start broadcast, and I forgot. So as a result, what we can do is this. If people had questions, first of all, I hope it was good information. If people have questions, just send them in. Mark, you guys collect them during the week, and then you can send it to me, and we can address them as we go, through future Hangouts, etc. We can come back and touch on those. So next week, as we move into some other subjects, we can maybe say, hey, listen, the answer to some of the questions that came up last week, here they are, boom, 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 and then we'll follow up with you. Or we can get you the answers so that we can get those back out to the folks. Because I suddenly realized you're right, the feature is disabled, so we can't get to it right now.
That sounds good. I noticed the same thing. Mine was disabled. So, yeah, if you have any questions, get them to us. We'll get them to Curtis. He can answer them for us next week. Curtis, I know it's late there. What time is it there?
Well, it's actually not that late. It's about 7:30, but I've actually now I'm going to head out of here, and I've got to go down to a meeting with a group of people that we've got over here that we're working with on a training, coaching, mentoring session the next couple of days. So it's the opening reception that started about 3 minutes ago. So I'm sure there are still people wandering in, so no problem.
Okay. Well, we'll let you get down to that. And once again, we thank you for your time. This is great training. We've got quite a few people taking advantage of it, and I know they appreciate it too. But Romy and I really appreciate every chance we get to learn from you and Lisa. So
Absolutely, brother. It's fun.
With that, we'll sign off and stop the broadcast now. And if you guys have any questions, make sure you get them to Romy and I, and we'll get them to Curtis. And thanks for being on the call
Thanks
with
much.
us.
Appreciate it. Always fun.
All right, cool. Thank you.